Alright guys, what's up? Varvis here. Today we're going to be doing all the death songs ranked on our tier list. We're going from triple S to D. And for this tier list, there really isn't any death song I would consider actually terrible. Pretty much the worst you're going to get from death is mediocre or average. So that'll be D, and then that goes up to S and then triple S. So just kind of think of these being graded on a curve, essentially. Now let's not waste any more time. This is going to be a pretty long video, so let's get into it. All right, so first song we have is 1000 Eyes. Living in the pupil of 1000 eyes. Honestly, I think this is it's a pretty good song. I think I might put this in S. Like, it is a pretty prophetic song with great riffs. I'm going to be saying that quite often. Great riffs. But yeah, to start it off, let's go with 1000 Eyes. Let's go double S. I think we're going to go double S for 1000 Eyes. Oh, all these will be ranked in alphabetical order as well. I'm not going to go through every individual album. We're just going to go by alphabetical order. So the next song on the list here is going to be A Moment of Clarity. Closing song before Painkiller on Sound of Perseverance. I really like the way it starts off. It doesn't start off like any other regular death song. Yeah, you know what? Moment of Clarity is pretty good. I think I'm going to put this in S tier, though. It's definitely not my favorite song on The Sound of Perseverance, but, I do think it's still an incredible song. I love the riffs. I love the drumming. Yeah, S. Well, yeah, let's go S tier for Moment of Clarity. How about that? The next song we have is Altering the Future, and you know what? I actually don't really. Let me re-listen to this one really quick. Alright, yeah, so Altering the Future, it's been a while since I listened to Spiritual Healing. It's kind of more of one of Death's doomier songs, or maybe one of their slower songs, probably right up there with Low Life. You know what, I thought it was just okay. I'm gonna put this in C tier for Altering the Future. Next up, we have Baptized in Blood off Scream Bloody Gore. This is one of the faster death tracks. There's some absolutely unhinged vocals on this one. Lots of the vocals on Scream Bloody Gore are pretty unhinged, but I really find this one especially is, it's pretty crazy. But you know what? You're probably gonna see a lot of my bias towards the later albums in Death's career here. Baptized in Blood, I'm just gonna put in you know what? We're gonna go B tier for that, for Baptized in Blood. I thought it's a pretty good track. Definitely not my favorite Death song. Pretty unhinged, pretty fast. Yeah, not bad. B tier. But like a B tier Death song is still like, like an A minus. You know what I mean? For I know regular tier list, if that makes any sense to you. All right, next song up on the list is Bite the Pain. And to me, Bite the Pain, I love the intro. Just such an exotic sounding intro. I love it, the tapping there. Great riffs. as all these songs have great riffs. Instead, I bite the pain. Great lyrics on this one, by the way, too. You know what? I think this will be another double S track for me. I really quite enjoy Bite the Pain. It's, great riffs, great lyrics. Probably one of the best lyrics. I'm just gonna be saying this all the time. But yeah, Bite the Pain. Let's go double S tier here. All right. The next up is Born Dead off Leprosy. Born dead to this world. This is probably one of the better tracks off Leprosy for me. The sort of more, not like super fast, but I guess like mid to fast paced songs definitely suit Leprosy style production a little bit better. Really good catchy choruses here. Yeah, this is another one of those tracks. If I think I'm gonna realize here, if I have to go back and re-listen to these tracks again, probably not gonna be my favorite Death songs here. Choke on It's pretty good. I do like the sort of mid part where it picks up the pace a little bit and the tremolo picking riffs. It's a very classic like death metal song, if that makes sense. But to me, this is just sort of like another, mid-tier kind of death track. I'm going to put it in B tier. Next up, we got one of the few death instrumentals. We have Cosmic Sea. Yeah, Cosmic Sea, I really like this track. It sets a good mood, has some pretty cool riffs. All the musicians on Human are just fantastic musicians. This is the one that brings a lot of the atheist influence, I think, into the death song, right? I really like it. This is really good. I think I'm gonna put this in S tier for sure. All right, next up, Crystal Mountain. I mean, like, this is an easy triple S tier. Will anybody have any opinions about that? Easy double S. Who's gonna say anything about this? This is an easy triple S song. Probably one of the best death metal songs of all time. One of the best melodic death metal tracks of all time. You have the acoustic guitar outro. The clean or dirty, bam, bam, Boom, boom, boom. Concho. Yeah, just what a great track, man. Truly one of the best death metal songs of all time. One of my favorite death songs. Our first triple S, Crystal Mountain. Easy, easy, easy. All right, so now we have Defensive Personalities off of Spiritual Healing. This one's pretty good. I do like the lyrics on this one quite a bit. It's not as sort of mid-paced as some of the other tracks on Spiritual Healing are. Those tracks I'm not really the fan of, probably my least favorite death tracks. But Defensive Personalities is actually a pretty good one. I'm gonna put this in A tier. We got a lot of songs to fit in here, so let's make it easy on myself here. Denial of Life. Let me listen to this one too really quick. All right, Denial of Life really reminds me of a Slayer song, really. You know, when I listen to it, even when Chuck does the sort of chorus, Denial of Life, that's sort of kind of Slayer-esque in a way. Sort of sounds like a mix between something you would hear on Slayer debut album. You know, that intro kind of reminds me a lot of Black Magic, I think by Slayer is the name. And a lot of Rain and Blood on here too. You know, the sort of the break in the middle to the treble pick guitar riff. That's very Slayer, but I guess, you know, really this is only came out a year after Rain and Blood, so that makes total sense to me. Denial of Life, pretty fun song, pretty fast. You know, I think it's okay. I'm gonna put it in B tier. All right, so now we have Destiny off of Individual Thought Patterns. I think this is the first song off Individual Thought Patterns so far. I really like the intro to the song. It sounds a lot like something that you would hear off Symbolic. Actually, I think the song, you know, of all the songs on Individual Thought Patterns, this one sounds the most like Symbolic to me. I absolutely love the bass playing. Steve DiGiorgio, you know, all over this album. Really good stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit unhinged, a little bit crazy. It's like, you know, it's like if you mix sort of like the human technicality and craziness and combined it with the symbolic, sort of more introspective lyrics and more melodic side of stuff. I really think it's quite good. I'm going to put this in, let's give it S tier. I'm going to give this definitely an S tier song. Great track. All right, and next up, off of Symbolic, we have Empty Words by Death. Of course it's by Death. Who else would it be by? Yeah, to me, this is one of my favorite songs off Symbolic. I really love that chorus riff. Really good. Lyrics are pretty good on this. I really like the intro too, that sort of weird, you know, clean guitar with like some bongos or rototoms, whatever they're playing here. I love that intro. Empty Words, definitely a double S song for me. Next up, we have Evil Dead off Scream Bloody Gore. What a great intro on this track. I love the tapping. Even though I have heard it like rips off some other song quite a bit, but to be honest, I don't really care. Whatever. Evil Dead, that's an easy S tier for me, Bubba. One of my favorites off Scream Bloody Gore for sure. All right, Flattening of Emotions. You know, great track. It's not bad by any means either. I think it's pretty good. You know, I love the drumming. Again, all the bass. For me, Flattening of Emotions, we'll put in A tier here. The song that I made one of my first deep dives on, we have Flesh and the Power It Holds. I mean, like, you know, if you really want to hear my thoughts on the song, go see my video on it. Really good, but for me, I'm not going to say too much more. This is an easy triple S song. You know, one of the best songs to tell a story. The lyrics are great. I love the riffs. The intro, one of the best intros in metal history, I think. Over a minute-long intro that keeps my attention the whole time. Some people don't really like the transitions or lack of transitions, I suppose, in lots of these songs on Sound of Perseverance, but you know what I say, man? Transitions are for chumps. Real men just play the next riff. Triple S. Next up, we have Forgotten Past off of Leprosy. And you know what? I need to listen to this one again. Yeah, Forgotten Past. Pretty cool song. I do like the chorus. That Forgotten Past, not a bad track at all. You know, one of the ones that are kind of forgetful. They just sort of blend into me on Leprosy here. Not bad. Not the greatest song. I'm going to put this in a solid B tier for sure. Next track, we have Genetic Reconstruction off of Spiritual Healing. To me, I think Spiritual Healing, probably my least favorite death record. You know, it's still a great record to me, but, you know, it's just not as memorable as some of the other ones. To me, Genetic Reconstruction, you know, it's just a pretty mid-track, honestly. Like, nothing really special goes on for me. The solo is pretty nice, I guess, but I think we're going to get our first D track here in Genetic Reconstruction. All right, next up we have God of Thunder, one of the 2 death covers that are on here. Now, God of Thunder to me, you know, The Painkiller cover is completely bonkers and over the top, whereas God of Thunder, I think they kind of played a little bit safe, maybe played it too close to the chest and didn't really go crazy. You know, like these guys, like it's a human lineup. Like, go nuts, bro. Like, let's have some fun. But that being said, I think this is a pretty good track. It sounds pretty heavy. I think I'm gonna put this in it's a solid B tier death track. You know what? I'll listen to this song if it comes on at the gym for sure. Absolutely. Now we have In Human Form. Human Form! Off Individual Thought Patterns. Yeah, this is a great track. One of my favorites off Individual Thought Patterns for sure. I love the riffs. Again, like Gene Hoglan's drumming. Really great track. I'm gonna put this in S tier. One of my favorites off Individual Thought Patterns for sure. And then follow that up with the title track off Individual Thought Patterns. Yeah, Individual Thought Patterns. I really like the solo on this track with a sort of staccato, almost kind of like a modern breakdown rhythm. Like this sounds like something you would hear on like a metalcore record in like 13 essentially or something like that. Great track. I'm gonna put this in A tier. You know, again, I can't say enough about Gene Hoglan's drumming on this album, Steve DiGiorgio's bass. It's great. Maybe probably my least favorite Chuck vocals performance on this album, but that's something to get into later. But you know, I still really like the songs for sure. All right, so now we have Infernal Death, which is also off Scream Bloody Gore. To me, this is just another, you know, a lot of these songs on Scream Bloody Gore and you know, even Leprosy just sort of blend together to me. And while this is like a fast, heavy death metal track, you know, I just think it's okay. You know, definitely not my favorite track. You know what? I'm gonna put this B tier. B tier. All right, so now we got Jealousy of Individual Thought Patterns. This song to me is basically just like one long bass solo. Maybe one of the more technical songs of Death's career, probably ever. I think it's pretty good. It's almost a little bit too technical and too dissonant. Like there's a lot of dissonance going on. There's not enough like real melody, you know, but maybe that's not really what they're going for. But at least, you know, that's what I like a little bit more in my Death tracks. I think Jealousy's pretty good. I'm going to put this in, let's go, you know, up here in A tier for sure. Now we have Killing Spree off of Spiritual Healing. You know, it's a pretty good track, but again, there's something about the production and everything on Spiritual Healing that just seems a little bit boring to me. Leprosy and Scream Bloody Gore sort of have this like frantic intensity to it, where Spiritual Healing kind of just falls flat. You know, a lot of the songs I find just a little bit boring. They don't really, not that memorable to me. So I'm going to put Killing Spree here in C tier. So now we have Lack of Comprehension. One of the coolest Death intros. I love that intro. I also love the riff that comes, not the first riff that plays, but the second riff. Like, that's a cool riff. You know, it's a pretty good song. Maybe not one of my favorite Death songs that sort of got more popular because of the music video, but I do think it's pretty good. I'm going to put this in A tier for sure for me. And let me just make A tier organize this just a little bit, so we're going to fit some more stuff in here. Left to Die. Yeah, one of my, this is one of the better songs off Leprosy to me. Cool track, you know, it's fast, frantic, and heavy. I'm gonna put this actually in here. One of my more favorite songs off of the early Death albums for sure. Now we have Leprosy. To me, Leprosy is just sort of you know, like it's fast, it's heavy, but it's definitely not my favorite track off of Leprosy. You know, again, the production, we can get into the production a little bit more later when I talk about the albums individually, but you know, to me this is just a B tier song. Not the worst, not the best. Solid average Death song for sure. All right, so now we got Living Monstrosity off of Spiritual Healing. Living Monstrosity! Yeah, this is a pretty good song. The opening track to Spiritual Healing. Yeah, not bad. It sort of brings a little bit more of that Leprosy intensity to it. I love the sort of flanger chorus effect on the guitars and the little mini solo, I guess it'd be, like near the middle of the track. Really good track. I'm going to put this in A tier for me, for sure. Pretty good track. Low Life. So, now, Low Life is one of the first Death songs I actually ever listened to. Mostly because I think it was so slow and approachable, I guess, if that makes any sense. You know, I think I heard this when I was in grade 7, grade 8, and I wasn't a big fan of death metal at the time, but I thought this was pretty good. However, now, I think it's one of my least favorite Death songs. And again, it's just sort of boring, slow, meandering. Lyrics are pretty cool. You know, those who are a waste of life use up air that others can breathe. That's a nice line. But to me, you know, on a list of Death songs that I would like to listen to, this is right at the bottom. So I'm going to put this in D tier. All right, Mentally Blind. Yeah, this is a great track. Love the riff at the end. I love the chorus. The take away the power. One of my favorite songs off Individual Thought Patterns for sure. To me, this is going to be an S tier track. An S tier track, Mentally Blind. All right, so another symbolic track. We have Misanthrope. Misanthrope's a pretty cool song. Not my favorite off Symbolic. I do really like the chorus, or maybe you would call it the breakdown, where the Misanthrope, hater of all mankind. However, unfortunately, the rest of the song is just, you know, it's not as interesting as the one part, and not as interesting as a lot of the other songs off Symbolic. To me, we're gonna give this an A tier. An A tier for sure. Mutilation off of Scream Bloody Gore. You know, a lot of these tracks just kind of sound the same to me. It's fast, it's heavy, you know, unhinged. You know, like a lot of these songs of the first albums kind of blend together to me. I'm gonna give this a C tier. Nothing is Everything off Individual Thought Patterns. Pretty good track. Not my favorite off Individual Thought Patterns. I think the lyrics are kind of cheesy, but, you know, maybe 1993. Maybe it was a little bit more acceptable to say nothing is everything and everything is nothing. I don't know. It's the rare Chuck miss on the lyrics, on later Death lyrics, I guess you should say. This is going to go in B tier for me. Open Casket. You know, another song off Leprosy. It's pretty fast. But again, it just kind of misses the hooks on songs like Left to Die. You know, we'll get to Pull the Plug shortly. But, you know, it's just, you know, it seems like this could have just been on Scream Bloody Gore and it would have been just the same. Yeah, you C tier song. Definitely not my favorite Death track. All right, so now we have Out of Touch. This is sort of like Chuck's diss track, I guess, maybe to the rest of the death metal scene here at the time. Lyrics are not bad, you know, trying to be as brutal as possible. Definitely doesn't work the best, as you could see on, you know, the first 2 albums for me here. A lot of these songs just, you know, kind of miss. I like the intro with the open arpeggiated chords and the keyboards. Not a bad track by any means. I'm going to give it B tier, for sure. Overactive Imagination. So, the opening track to Individual Thought Patterns starts off with a blast. The introduction to Gene Hoglan on drums. Pretty good track. Not my favorite on Individual Thought Patterns, but it's fast, it's technical. Not bad. I'm going to give this A tier. Or not, it's great. You know, I enjoy the song quite a bit. Why do I keep saying not bad? Again, you know, a not bad Death song is definitely above average, you know, above the average not bad that I give out. I guess if that makes any sense to you guys. All right, Painkiller. You know, another, the other Death cover song. You know, Chuck's vocals are actually absolutely great on here. I'm surprised. You know, I really would have liked to hear more of this vocal style going forward. This sort of half screamed, half, you know, Rob Halford falsetto kind of deal. I really think it's very cool. And that could have been, you know, maybe something that Death sound would have evolved into more of, you know, because I would have really liked to see where he could have taken this. But, you know, as it stands, Painkiller is a pretty good cover. But again, it's like a cover. I'm not going to give it more than an A. It's like an A cover. You know what, actually, you know what, I'm going to put it in C. I pretty much skip this every time it comes on. Just because it's at the end of the album. I'm sort of like, eh. And even if it comes on shuffle, you know, I'm probably skipping this. Despite the fact that I enjoy the cover, I probably would rather listen to the original Painkiller. That can't be said for God of Thunder, though. I enjoy God of Thunder, the cover, much more than the Kiss track. So that's what we'll do. We'll put Painkiller in C. Won't you join me on the perennial quest? Yeah, perennial quest. Probably some of the best lyrics in Death's career. I love the outro. Lyrics are great. I love the like a prog death metal masterpiece. This is going in double S for me. Love this track. Primitive Ways. Yeah, it's just kind of like a mid-death song. We're going to put that in C. All right, Pull the Plug. Now, here we go. Here is how to make, you know, a death metal song. Super catchy and super brutal. You know, why don't you? Dun, 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 dun. But, you know, pull the plug. One of Death's best songs, easily. You know, I'd listen to this any day with like some of their best off their later albums. Great track. You know, I'm sure I don't need to say more about it. You know it's a great song. I know it's a great song. Triple S. Regurgitated Guts. Yeah, you know, like off of Scream Bloody Gore. I think this is probably one of my least favorite tracks off there. It's just, you know, it's a death metal song. What can you say? It's fast, heavy, super brutal lyrics, you know. Oh well, what can you say? Alright, so now we have Sacred Serenity. Sacred Serenity is pretty good. Took me a while to kind of warm up to the song. It just sort of starts off kind of weird. It doesn't start off as strong as some of the other songs off Symbolic, but I really, really, really enjoy the clean bridge there, and I wish they would have expanded upon that. Like, that is a great bridge. And if they would have expanded on that and gone forward a bit, you know, make it a little bit longer, you know, make it a little bit progressive. Why not? This would have been an S tier song, but just for me, you know, I think I'm just going to put it in A. Not bad, you know. Definitely a great track, but not as great as some of the other tracks on Symbolic, for sure. Sacrificial, you know, it's okay. Again, like, some of these songs sort of, like, all blend together. To me, not my favorite Death song, for sure, by any means, but you know what? I'll listen to it if it comes on. I'm not skipping Sacrificial. Alright, let's go. Scavenger of Human Sorrow is up next, and to me, this is a double S track. It's not the best song off the Sound of Perseverance, but that drum intro is really great. Go see my video on that if you want to know more of my thoughts on it. But yeah, great track. Great track. Alright, the title track off Scream Bloody Gore. You know, it's, I find myself repeating what I've said earlier about a lot of these tracks. Because a lot of my complaints and concerns about the first, you know, 2 or 3 Death albums sort of, you know, all kind of come together. And it's just, you know, it's just a fast, brutal, heavy death metal song. Not my real cup of tea, but, you know, it's better than some of the other ones for sure. I'm going to put this in B tier. All right, Secret Face. I need to listen to this one really quick. All right, yeah, I totally remember that one. You know, when I went back and just listened to it there, I was like, yeah, this is a great track. I love how fast it gets in the middle. There's a lot of cool, very technical sessions in the song, as there are on a lot of the Human songs. But, you know, I do think they're just better Human songs, and I think the fact that I didn't remember this, despite the fact that I've listened to Human quite a few times at this point in my life, it just means it has to go in B tier for me. See Through Dreams, you know, one of my... Off of Human, I do really enjoy the sort of you know, it's fast. I love just the relentless double kicks. Pretty good track. I'm gonna put this in A tier for sure. Spirit Crusher. Can this go anywhere but triple S? I also have a video on this song. Go check it out. It's on my channel. Love it to bits. One of my favorite songs to play on guitar. Great track, triple S, easily triple S. All right, the title track of Spiritual Healing. Here we go. This is a great track of Spiritual Healing. I love the chorus, with the tapping, and the, you know, absolutely spiritual healing. Great track. I'm gonna give this an S tier. One of the rare, you know, I think it's gonna be the only S tier off of Spiritual Healing. Great track, love it. Story to Tell. One of my, yeah, another track off the Sound of Perseverance. Just absolutely great riffs on the here. I love the production and drumming on the Sound of Perseverance. But to me, this is like an S tier song. It's not as good as it does, you know, it's almost there. It's almost there, but it just has to be an S tier for me. There will be a video coming out on this song shortly as well, so stay tuned. Leave a like, leave a sub. All right, we got Suicide Machine. Yeah, Suicide Machine. You know, this might be maybe a little bit controversial, but I'm going to put this in double S tier of the Suicide Machine. Yeah, great track. It's fast, it's heavy, technical. Pretty much everything that I want a song from the Human lineup to do, it does. Great track, double S. All right, now we have the title track off Symbolic. And well, to me, when I really started getting back into Death, you know, a couple of years ago, this is the track, you know, I put on Symbolic and I was like, let me take a listen to this. How good is this? And, you know, it's just that first riff, the dun, 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 dun. Great track, great lyrics. Who can't relate to, you know, the feeling of innocence and how it's fleeting, how you can never get it back? You know, just what a great song. Easily one of my favorite Death tracks. Triple S, easy. Yeah, I love how the song sounds like you're being chased by a monster in the chorus. Triple S. I could go on, but I'll stop. Triple S. All right, so then next up we have The Philosopher. You know, what can you say? This is a very extremely catchy song. I love the great intro, great chorus, great solo. For me, this is another triple S song that you can put in Death's catalog for sure. Absolutely. I love The Philosopher. To Forgive is to Suffer. Track off The Sound of Perseverance comes right after Voice of the Soul with another crazy drum intro from Richard Christie. Yeah, you know, one of my favorite tracks. One of the lyrics that really makes you think, right? To forgive someone is to suffer what they've done to you and internalize it and forgive them. But, you know, forgiveness, you know, possibly leader to more Jesus Christ. Anyways, I will get to the song. I'm going to be doing all of The Sound of Perseverance, deep dive on that. So stay tuned, but to me, this is a double S song. I really like this track. I love the riffs. Drumming's great again. Yeah, double S. Together as One. Let me just re-listen to this really quick. All right, yeah, Together as One sort of reminds me of more of the older Death style, sort of more like Scream Bloody Gore, Leprosy kind of style stuff on Human. Pretty good track. Not my favorite off Human though. You know, as it makes sense, I didn't really remember it that well. You know, that sort of tells me where I should kind of rank these if I can remember exactly what's going on in all these songs. Torn to Pieces, what can you say? We're just gonna go B tier with this one. Trapped in a Corner. All right, excellent. Yeah, this one's great. I love this track. You know, dun, 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 dun. I love that riff that's coming in one part, what's doing the corner. The bass is absolutely out of control. I love the chorus, you know. You too, you'll find yourself trapped in a corner. This one, I could listen to this anytime. I'm going to give this triple S for sure. One of my favorites, Trapped in a Corner. All right, we're getting to some of the last few songs here. So we have Vacant Planets off Human. Pretty good track. I love the opening effect on the guitar. I think that sounds really cool. Coming after Cosmic Sea, kind of a nice like 1-2 punch there right at the end of the album. Yeah, not bad. A tier. Voice of the Soul. Now, I may have a controversial opinion about Voice of the Soul here, so hold your pitchforks, but to me, Voice of the Soul is it's an amazing song, but some people out there would have you believe that it's this sort of life-changing experience to listen to the song, and I don't really think that's the case. You know, it's great, you know, it's very emotional, and I will be doing a video on this as well, but I don't think it's the, you know, absolute pinnacle of music that some people online would have you believe. To me, this is just like an S tier instrumental. You know, it's still an S tier track, but you know, not a triple S track, if that makes any sense. Don't shoot me. Yeah, within the Mind here off Spiritual Healing. It's just sort of another slower paced death track. It's just kind of mid, bro. That's, you know, I don't know. Oh, it just doesn't really stand out to me in any meaningful way. You know, it's going in D tier. You know, most of these are actually in D tier. Sorry, Spiritual Healing fans. All right, Without Judgment off Symbolic. Not my favorite track off Symbolic. Pretty good. Riffs are kind of cool. But to me, this is sort of just like a B tier track. Without Judgment, what would we do? Yeah, it's B tier. I'm going to give it a B. All right, Zero Tolerance. For me, Zero Tolerance is a triple S tier. One of the best death tracks, one of my favorite songs to listen to just for the drums, to be honest. The drumming that is going on here is absolutely crazy. The grooves are just, you know, out of control, or sound like they're out of control, but they're totally in control because Gene Hoglan is an absolute beast on the kit. I love the riffs. The riffs are so heavy and powerful. There will be zero tolerance. Yeah, triple S, easily. And then we have Zombie Ritual. To me, this is a double S song. Zombie Ritual! The intro is great. You know, yeah, great intro. Favorite song off Scream Bloody Gore. Easily. Yeah, what a fantastic song. Right, well, take a good look. this is the Death Song tier list. Let me know where you guys put some of these songs. Do you agree that Spiritual Healing's, probably the low point or like the lower point in Death's career? What do you think of the Triple S songs here? Yeah, let me know. Let me know your comments and opinion. I'm sure I pissed you off by putting your favorite song in like a B or a C tier. So let me know about that. And yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I got a lot more content coming on the way. So yeah, leave a sub. Let's come. Cheers.